tricks up his sleeve, though.
Yeah, very interesting, though, using the Groudon Xerneas core, the Kangaskhan, the Smeargle, and the Talonflame that we're all used to, but dropping the Salamence for the Amoonguss. Actually, in his Argentina matches, he was using the Salamence over that Amoonguss slot. Gives him a better matchup against Kyogre, maybe a dual Primal a little bit, and Trick Room especially.
Yeah, and Amoonguss also very good against opposing Xerneas. However, one of the big counters to these types of teams is Rayquaza. Amoonguss has a terrible matchup against that. Meanwhile, Salamence does have a good matchup against that. So we'll see if dropping the Salamence for Amoonguss pays off. But with how popular Rayquaza is, you know, maybe not so much. And he is going to have to go up against Rayquaza in this match.
Yeah, Andrew will be running the Rayquaza Groudon core that we've been talking about alongside Crobat, Suicune, Ferrothorn, and Smeargle. And already here in Game 1 of Round 4, we see Andrew does choose to lead with his Primal Groudon as well as his Kyogre, or sorry, not his Kyogre, his Crobat, while Sebastian chooses to lead with that Kangaskhan and that Talonflame.
Yeah, so this is big. Crobat is able to set up a Tailwind to help Groudon outspeed Kangaskhan, but that won't help against Talonflame. However, Groudon does have very, very high physical defense.
Yeah, it doesn't really care.
Right, doesn't have to worry too much about Talonflame or Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan, of course, very powerful, so it'll still do a decent amount of damage with its Double Edge or Return. Groudon doesn't really have a way to hit Talonflame, though, that hard. Fire Punch still will do a lot of damage to it, but it won't pick up the knockout, so...
Yeah, Rock Slide is an increasingly uncommon attack for Groudon to have, and also there's the possibility that this Groudon will be special as well. Sebastian does go to set up the Tailwind of his own, just in case that Crobat wants to do the same thing, which it does. So Sebastian basically nullifying Andrew's Tailwind there, so both players will basically be in the same position as where they started. And the side power-up punch here from Kangaskhan, power-up punching his own Talonflame, really predicting that Groudon would go for a Protect here, not taking a Fake Out, but it did not protect.
Oh, an Eruption. Full power, too.
Full power Eruption in the sun deals so much damage. Kangaskhan just barely hangs on, but a critical hit onto that Talonflame will mean that Groudon will pick up the KO there.
Oh, that's huge. Now, Crobat may not be able to knock out Kangaskhan here if its only damaging move is Super Fang. So Kangaskhan may be able to get an attack off here with its increased stages in attack thanks to that side power-up punch. However, Kangaskhan very low. It'll get knocked out next time it's attacked. Talonflame, of course, already went down, and Andrew has yet to take damage. So what a phenomenal turn for Andrew. Sebastian maybe trying to make too hard of a read.
Yeah, just a little too hard, which we see a lot of times when these Kangaskhan players go for the side power-up punch.
Yeah, there was really not much reason for Groudon to protect there, too. He's not that scared of Kangaskhan or Talonflame, so maybe that was the wrong read. It certainly was, you know, looking at it after the fact, but even beforehand, maybe it was just being a little too greedy.
Yeah, well, we do have Smeargle now out on the field with a Protect this turn coming out from Groudon. Smeargle goes for the Spiky Shield, just trying to protect itself from any attacks coming out from that Crobat, most likely, but Taunt actually into the Spiky Shield. Kangaskhan will be able to get its return off this time, now boosted by those power-up punches, will be able to get a one-hit KO onto that Crobat, and Sebastian, protecting his Smeargle from the Taunt, gets a special defense increase and an accuracy drop on that Moody boost.
Yeah, good and bad. The special defense will help against Groudon since we've seen it's now a special Groudon, so that'll help Smeargle stay around longer.
Yeah,
but now Dark Void is
that.
not very accurate, so we'll see how much longer Smeargle remains in the battle, if that special defense helps it enough so it gets enough opportunities to Dark Void, and that eventually it'll hit thanks to the accuracy drop, making it a lot less likely to hit now.
Yeah, well, Andrew has decided to bring out his own Smeargle to match Sebastian's Smeargle. Of course, Sebastian does have the benefit of those special defense boosts, but if the accuracy drop, you would just never trade that for special defense.
No, but sometimes it can be worth it. In this matchup, it might actually be worth it. We'll see how much that special defense actually helps the Smeargle, though.
Well, it looks like Andrew is going to protect his Groudon from the Kangaskhan here, using that Follow Me on Smeargle, taking both hits of the return to take out the Smeargle thanks to the Focus Sash. So Andrew's Smeargle will go down. Another Eruption coming out. Will be able to pick up the KO onto Kangaskhan. Is it enough on that special defense boosted Smeargle? It is, but also still hanging on with the Focus Sash. So now Smeargle will be able to get an attack off here possibly able to put this Groudon to sleep, but avoids it with the accuracy drop there, not allowing it. But the speed increase, so we will get more chances, but more accuracy drops.
Yeah, so in that case, since it wasn't a very bulky Smeargle, we saw the Focus Sash. Eruption just doing too much. The special defense boost didn't matter at all, but the accuracy drop absolutely did. And now we have another one. However, the speed increase, but that won't matter against the Rayquaza if it goes for an extreme speed.
Yeah, well, Rayquaza now out on the field for Andrew. The airlock taking away the effects of the sun. So Groudon's a little less scary with its eruptions, but just because it's less scary doesn't mean it isn't plenty scary enough.
Yeah, Andrew's in great shape here, even though his Groudon is special, which doesn't do very well against Xerneas. Since he's got the Rayquaza alongside it, if it's got maybe a Focus Sash on Rayquaza, I think that's enough for him to seal up this match against the Xerneas. Simply going for an Eruption again and then going for a Dragon Ascent onto Xerneas, that should be enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did see the Focus Sash already used on the Smeargle, though.
Right.
So this Rayquaza will be a little bit vulnerable.
The downside, though, is that Smeargle has that speed boost, so perhaps an extreme speed is better. The accuracy, I don't know if you want to play with that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very accurate at all, so maybe just take the knockout onto the Smeargle and just go for another Eruption with Groudon.
All right, well, Rayquaza will go ahead and Mega Evolve, giving it some important stat boosts as well as some the ability to just look really cool while it takes out this Smeargle with 1 hit point. Extreme Speed will make sure that Andrew is not rolling any dice here. Takes a little bit of damage showing that Life Orb, so will be a little weaker, but Xerneas actually just going straight for the Geomancy to protect itself from this special Groudon. But even with this Geomancy boost outside of the sun, this is still going to be potentially a full power Eruption on a single target.
Yeah, that single target extra increase for damage for Eruption will be very big here, but there's no sunlight out, so that will hurt how much damage this actually does.
Yeah, no sun active. Eruption will connect with the Xerneas, not doing a lot of damage actually, and the Tailwind will peter out, and Xerneas did get its full boost.
Yeah, so now a Dazzling Gleam threatens a KO on Rayquaza, and it'll do a decent chunk to Groudon, but Groudon can't really hit it too hard, so now Xerneas looking like it's in control of this match. Sebastian certainly happy about his position here. However, of course, Rayquaza can get the extreme speed off before it gets knocked out, maybe putting it into a KO range for the Groudon Earth Power.
Yeah, Rayquaza does try to protect itself this turn, but the Moonblast coming out from Sebastian. Xerneas correctly predicting that Protect will connect with Groudon, deal a lot of damage back. Groudon will get an Earth Power off this time onto Xerneas. Will deal a little bit of damage. It's going to be close now if that Groudon can survive a Dazzling Gleam that has been reduced in power thanks to having 2 Pokemon left.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. Can the Dazzling Gleam pick up the KO on Groudon? Because Extreme Speed won't be enough to knock out Xerneas here unless it gets maybe a critical hit.
Yep, here comes the Extreme Speed. Is enough. Gets the critical hit. Doesn't even need it. Gets the critical hit. Xerneas will go down, and Andrew Nowak will take that game 1.
Yeah, so that critical hit really, winning the game for him. We don't even get to see it.
I wanted to see that roll.
I wanted to see it too if Dazzling Gleam would have been enough, but we'll never get to know.
Yeah, I think it would have been very close, and you can tell Andrew is breathing a sigh of relief, and Sebastian is just a little bit frustrated there.
You can see Sebastian, he's frustrated, he's shaking his head, but you can't let that get to you heading into games 2 and 3. He's got to regain his focus. He was in control to win that match. He got unlucky. Maybe just, he could probably go for the same thing, maybe just switch maybe a couple moves up. But overall, he played a very good game, and he got himself into position to win. It's just, when you have chance to get a critical hit and it happens, very, very unlucky.
Yeah, and some pretty high-level play coming out there from Sebastian. Of course, the easy play is just to hit the Dazzling Gleam button and hope to pick up the KO on both of them. Would have been very risky if he had gone for the Moonblast without a Protect, but it all came down to those final 2 turns, and Sebastian made the right play, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, he made the right play each time, but like you said, just not enough. This is Pokemon, so critical hits can happen. You just got to deal with it and move on.
Yeah. And of course, we don't know if it would have mattered.
Yeah, we don't even get to find out.
Which could be very important information coming into this game 2 now, as both of these players are on the field once more. Groudon and Crobat will be the lead again for Andrew, and Kangaskhan Talonflame will be the lead again for Sebastian. And I feel like I like that both players are going with the same leads here. I think Sebastian could have gotten himself in a good position, but got a little bit greedy with the side power-up punch.
Yeah, definitely. So that was one of the big mistakes Sebastian made. Not really mistakes, but just kind of mispredictions.
Yeah.
And so if he can correct that, he can get himself into an even better position for this game too. And even then, even with that, poor turn 1 where he side power-up punched and it didn't work out, he was still in position to win that game. So I think if he readjusts his turn 1 strategy, he can certainly pick up a win here in game 2. Meanwhile, Andrew, there were some really hard reads that Sebastian made, so maybe if Andrew predicted a little bit differently, he could have certainly been in control for that match rather than having to rely on a critical hit on that final turn.
Yeah, and of course, even though these are the same leads, the way that played out game 1 does not mean this will be the same way that it plays out here. Sebastian may just go for the fake out again, which could change the game a little bit.
Yeah, he could, or he could just, go for an attack straight up, maybe not even worry about a fake out, just try and get some damage done.
All right, well, Kangaskhan is going to go ahead and Mega Evolve right away, and we are going to see the Tailwind coming out again from Sebastian's Talonflame. So we'll go ahead and set the Tailwind. Crobat as well will match with Tailwind again. Again, no more fake outs here, so we'll have to see if Kangaskhan is just going to go for more damage. Goes for the power-up punch again, so Sebastian, deciding that he had the right play last time, wants to do it all over again, gets the boost once more, and it looks like we are going to see a repeat of game 1 here. Groudon using the Eruption. We know it will pick up the KO onto Talonflame. Came very close on Kangaskhan, but was not enough, and still is not enough.
Another critical hit. So the same exact thing that happened game 1. Critical hit, Eruption onto Talonflame both times. Side power-up punch both times. Very unfortunate for Sebastian, but I really don't know if that was the right play. The side power-up punch just seems too greedy. Groudon doesn't really have a reason to protect there. But he was able to get himself into a position to win game 1 with the same exact thing happening.
Yeah.
So let's see if he can do it again and, kind of set up his team for victory, which he did in game 1. It's just maybe hope he doesn't get as unlucky and just try and pull through this time. He's got to stay focused, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can see on his face, the reaction to that second critical hit. It's very difficult to stay focused on a game like this, but it's crucial in these kind of matches because these will happen. I mean, you're playing 7 rounds of Swiss, best of 3. You're going to have to deal with this eventually. Yeah,
definitely, and I'm sure Sebastian is used to this. He did get top 4 at Argentina Nationals before, so I'm sure he's played through this kind of adversity before, and he certainly looks calm in the player cam.
Is going to bring out the Xerneas this time. I believe he went for the Smeargle last time, kept that Xerneas in the back, so making a little bit of an adjustment here. Wants a little bit more offensive pressure.
Yeah, this one's a little risky, though, because Crobat and Groudon are both great against Xerneas, so this might not have been a good time to bring it in.
All right, well, Groudon is going to protect this turn, so Andrew just trying to protect the Groudon, maybe hoping that Sebastian will be trying to go too offensive here. Taunt from Crobat will make sure that Xerneas will not be able to use that Geomancy. The return is into the Protect, and the Taunt does block the Geomancy, so exactly what Andrew wanted out of that turn.
Yeah, great play by Andrew there. He's in great shape here. Sebastian, maybe he got a little tilted from that turn 1. Again, we don't know what his last Pokemon is, but I would have preferred to see the Smeargle like we did in the previous game.
All right, well, it is the Smeargle. Smeargle will be switching in here. So now out on the field a turn late. Groudon also going to switch out. So Andrew will be switching his Pokemon around, which may mean that, that this Kangaskhan is going to get some free damage off onto something. Andrew brings in his Smeargle, Super Fang. Ooh, misses the Smeargle, keeps the Focus Sash alive, and the return from Sebastian will pick up the KO onto Smeargle, thanks to the parental bond going through that Focus Sash. Another critical hit on the 1 hit point Focus Sash, just for good measure.
Yeah, that's actually big, though. The Super Fang miss keeps the Focus Sash intact for Smeargle.
Oh, that's what he wants to see. Evasiveness increased. If Crobat couldn't hit a Super Fang without the boost, it's definitely not hitting him now.
With Smeargle, there's a way. We've seen in the interviews how how important Smeargle has been for some of these players. It can make miracles happen.
Yep.
We'll see if it can do that here.
Yeah, Sebastian is hoping for a miracle now. Rayquaza out on the field, of course, threatening that Kangaskhan with extreme speed. Kangaskhan was able to get the KO there, but by using the Smeargle, basically sacrificing the Smeargle to get the free switch in for Rayquaza, Andrew's basically trading Smeargle for that Kangaskhan right now.
Yeah, I see why he wanted to switch Groudon out because it probably would have been KO'd, although since it was only a return, it might have been able to take that boosted return and just been able to pick up a KO there on Kangaskhan. So, you know, you lose Smeargle for pretty much nothing, which is not good for Andrew. Maybe if he brought Smeargle in, he could have exerted Fake Out pressure or some Follow Me pressure to protect one of his ally Pokemon.
All right, well, is going to bring out the Rayquaza, and Fake Out from Smeargle will beat the Rayquaza. Rayquaza has flinched. Crobat going for the taunt onto Smeargle. Will taunt Smeargle. Smeargle will not be able to use any of its other attacks, but Kangaskhan now with that Fake Out onto Rayquaza. Easy KO with that boosted return there. And this is a great position for Sebastian to be in. This is what Andrew didn't want. That's why he switched everyone out. But now his Groudon is trapped in here with this Smeargle that just got a defense boost and an evasiveness drop.
Okay.
So only one stage of evasiveness.
Okay, but it does have its Focus Sash. That's what's going to be big here because you have to imagine Crobat's going to want to set up the Tailwind so Groudon is faster than Kangaskhan again. Probably Groudon would want to go for a Protect there. However, since the Focus Sash is intact, even an Eruption won't pick up the KO on Smeargle if it even hits. Yeah. And then, of course, against Xerneas, since it can set up a Geomancy and Groudon is a special Groudon, it doesn't have as good of a matchup if it ends up facing down that Xerneas.
Of course, the question is, what can Smeargle even do now that it's been taunted?
Yeah, it can't really do much of anything now, but you know, do you want to switch in Xerneas here and risk getting hit by maybe a Super Fang, give up a free Tailwind? You kind of have to because you're taunted. I doubt the Smeargle has any kind of other attacking moves. Feign is always something that's... Oh, no, we actually see it stay in.
Stays in, goes for the Fake Out. The only move it can use while taunted. Sets up Tailwind. Kangaskhan goes for the return. There was no Protect on the Groudon this turn, though, so Crobat will take the return damage here. Will take a lot of damage back. And Groudon will get the Eruption off, so we'll connect with the Kangaskhan and the Smeargle, bring Smeargle down to its Focus Sash, and then bring out the Xerneas.
Yeah, so I kind of see what he's going for here. He wants to get the Xerneas up against this Groudon. Let's see what he gets with speed. Okay.
Speed increase, but still taunted, so only able to be very quick at using that Fake Out. But if it can avoid something. Exactly,
it still has that one stage boost for evasiveness, so if it can survive long enough to be able to utilize that speed boost, it can do some work. But we're going to see Sebastian, he's going to hope he can get the Geomancy up, make it so Groudon is unable to take it out since it's a special variant. And so that's exactly what Sebastian's going for. He didn't want to switch Xerneas in to take the damage from the Eruption because then he might have been in really bad shape. Bringing Smeargle back in might not have been worth it.
He is going to have to take these, though. He has to take at least this one Eruption. A lot of damage, so much damage. And even with the Geomancy, that's just not going to be enough. We already saw that the full strength Eruption deals more than the remainder of Sebastian Xerneas' health. So that's a bad position to be in for Xerneas. You get these boosts, and Tailwind will run out shortly, but it's just not going to be enough without a crit.
Yeah, so Moonblast, it does have the chance to hit Groudon hard. It'll weaken the power of Eruption.
Potentially drop special attack.
Potentially drop special attack to allow Xerneas to take one more hit. So there are still outs here for Sebastian.
Well, the Moonblast will be the choice. It deals more than 50%, not very effective, no drops. Earth Power, though, will connect onto Xerneas, so has to use that Earth Power. Is it enough? It's not enough!
Wow.
Xerneas hangs on! One hit point on that Xerneas, and Sebastian with that Geomancy boost, that one hit point Xerneas will be able to take it home here with another Moonblast.
Unbelievable. Sebastian himself doesn't even believe that he just won.
Yeah, well, Sebastian there just making sure to pull it out there. Earth Power just not enough damage once that Groudon had to take the Moonblast. Could not use Eruption again, and that's going to be Game 2, and we are headed into a Game 3 now.
Wow, I'm so hyped now. The ending to that game was incredible. I mean, when Sebastian went to go take his headset off because he thought he was going to lose, he saw his Xerneas hang on there. He was in disbelief.
Wow.
What a game.
All right, well, we are headed into Game 3 now. Sebastian Escalante representing Argentina at 3-0 up against Andrew Nowak representing the United States also at 3-0. This Game 3, of course, it's not going to determine the tournament future for either of these players, but whoever wins this is going to have a much easier path towards the top cut.
Yeah, neither of these players have made the top cut at Worlds before. They're both relatively new, so I'm sure it must be really exciting for them to have made it this far and be so close to making the top cut. And whichever one does end up winning this game will be so, so close. They only need one more match win.
Yeah, well, here we go into Game 3. Of course, Sebastian with the Groudon Xerneas core, the Smeargle, Talonflame, Kangaskhan, and Amoonguss against Andrew Nowak, Groudon, Rayquaza, Crobat, Smeargle, Ferrothorn, and Suicune. And I have to imagine both those players probably want to play a third game of the same matchup.
Oh, man. And the ending for each game was just incredible. We saw Game 1, the critical hit there. Game 2, hanging on with a sliver of HP left. If Game 3 is anything like those first two games, we are in for a treat.
Yeah, well, let's get right into the action. Game 3 here of round 4 of our Swiss competition at the World Championships. Talonflame, Kangaskhan for Sebastian, and Crobat, Groudon for Andrew.
So we got mirror leads again, just like the first two games. We'll see if
each player thinks that they played the right game all two games.
Yeah, but we'll see if Sebastian continues to go for that side power-up punch. It did work a little better last game because Andrew never really took the time to take out that Kangaskhan, even though it had a sliver of HP left. So that is kind of big if you just let Kangaskhan sit there and fire off attacks. But still, I don't know if the side power-up punch is the right play. It is risky, but maybe, maybe Andrew's thinking, well, it hasn't worked, either of these first two times. Maybe Sebastian won't do it again, and then maybe he'll try and protect Groudon or switch it out or something, and then maybe Sebastian will stick with his guns and go for another side power punch.
Oh, well, we are about to find out. Mega Kangaskhan out on the field for Sebastian. Will go for the Tailwind again on Talonflame. No protect, no fake outs coming out, it looks like. Will be the Tailwind from Crobat, and let's do it again. I wonder if Sebastian actually tries to go for the damage on Groudon this time, actually. Goes straight for the return. Kangaskhan just going for the return, dealing damage right to that Groudon, about 50% of its health taken away. And the Eruption from Groudon, no longer that full strength Eruption, dealing no damage back to Talonflame and Kangaskhan. A great adaptation there from Sebastian, not going for the greedy power-up punch one more time.
Yeah, I really like that play for Sebastian because he really didn't have anything to, Groudon didn't have to protect. It was, you're better off just getting the damage done to Groudon rather than losing a Talonflame for nothing, almost losing your Kangaskhan. You can get a power-up punch later in the game. You don't have to get it, turn one.
Well, here is the Super Fang. Will bring that Kangaskhan back down to fairly low health to where it's been the entire rest of this set. Flare Blitz coming through from Sebastian's Talonflame will pick up the KO onto Crobat. Takes some recoil damage, quite a bit, thanks to the recoil. And then the return from Kangaskhan onto Groudon should be enough to pick up the KO here. So a double KO for Sebastian, and Argentina's Sebastian Escalante taking a 4-2 lead here on turn 2 of Game 3.
Yeah, look at that big difference here. Before it was, Sebastian was on the back foot after turn 1 by going for that side power-up punch and taking a full power Eruption. Now he's knocked out both of Andrew's Pokemon, and he's in a 4-2 lead here. He's in great shape, especially because Talonflame will be able to get off one more attack thanks to its ability Gale Wings, giving Brave Bird some priority. And of course, Kangaskhan, it's pretty fast on its own. It can even go for a Sucker Punch, though Rayquaza can certainly avoid that with its own extreme speed. That will also move before Talonflame. So Rayquaza certainly good in this situation at picking off these Pokemon while avoiding their priority damage.
Especially with Smeargle as a partner, which we've, I believe we've may have seen Fake Out. No, we saw Fake Out on Sebastian's Smeargle. So if Andrew does have Fake Out on his Smeargle, it could be a benefit here. But looks like it's going to be the Rayquaza Mega evolving on Andrew's side of the field. So Mega Rayquaza now out here hoping to pick off at least one of these Pokemon on Sebastian's side and take a little bit more of the momentum back. Smeargle actually just going for the Spiky Shield, protect itself. Andrew trying to put his eggs in the Moody basket, it looks like. Quick Guard coming out from Talonflame. No priority moves here. Extreme Speed into the Quick Guard and return from Kangaskhan into the Spiky Shield, though. It takes some damage back. And here comes the Moody. Special attack, not good enough. Attack drop, not good enough. Smeargle really needed to get a speed boost there, an evasiveness boost, something that could give it the initiative.
Yeah, he needed something relevant there. Didn't get it. Not really too much happened there, though. Talonflame did show Quick Guard, so now Extreme Speed, not something Rayquaza wants to use. but that means, you know, Kangaskhan Sucker Punch could hit Rayquaza. Talonflame, maybe it decides to outpredict and go for a Brave Bird. If Rayquaza goes for, you know, maybe a Dragon Ascent or something other than Extreme Speed, then Talonflame would actually get to move first and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that Talonflame wants to continue just quick guarding. Smeargle may just need to keep going for spiky shields. Instead goes for the Follow Me to protect itself from any attacks on Sebastian's side. Went for the Tailwind there, actually. Looks like may have misjudged the amount of turns of Tailwind, so Rayquaza will be able to get its Dragon Ascent off onto the Kangaskhan, so no Follow Me needed here. Andrew just cheats a Pokemon away.
Yeah, must have lost track of the Tailwind turns there. But even if he did go for a quick guard, it would have been the same exact outcome. So you can look at it that way.
Well, the Tailwind will be reset now, so no Tailwind, special defense increase and a special attack drop here. Again, not the Moody boost that Andrew needs for that Smeargle to stay relevant. But without the Kangaskhan on the field anymore, that Follow Me could be very relevant.
Yeah, the Follow Me is very useful, especially the next time Talonflame goes for an attack. It will likely knock itself out with Recoil. So that is one thing Andrew has going for him. If he can, you know, keep going for the Follow Me, and then Rayquaza just target down the partner rather than Talonflame with the Dragon Ascent. That way, whenever Talonflame, you know, decides to attack, it'll knock itself out. That's your comeback mechanic in this game.
Right.
If you actually spend a turn attacking Talonflame, you know, you're not going to have enough time to come back in this match.
Yeah. And especially when your Pokemon, when your last offensive Pokemon is Rayquaza, just not able to deal with multiple Pokemon out on the field.
Yeah, he can deal with one Pokemon great because he's so powerful, but he has no moves to hit multiple Pokemon, like a Groudon does, like a Kyogre does, like a Xerneas does.
All right, well, Sebastian sends out his own Smeargle here, wants to try and soften these Pokemon up before his final Pokemon in the back comes out, most likely going to be that Xerneas. Talonflame Smeargle, Andrew Smeargle not getting the Moody boost it needs. I believe it's gotten attack and special attack and then defense and special defense drops.
Yeah, I think it did get a special defense increase though, so maybe that can be useful if there's a Xerneas.
All right, well, Rayquaza will protect itself from a Fake Out, but it looks like the Fake Out's actually going to connect with Andrew's Smeargle, and Talonflame goes for the Brave Bird into the Protect though. So just getting a little bit of chip damage on there. But Sebastian gets evasion. Sebastian loses special attack as well, but Sebastian is at +2 evasion, and so is Andrew. Both of these players now having the evasive Smeargle, but of course Andrew's Smeargle did lose its Focus Sash from that Fake Out.
Yeah, that's big. Losing your Focus Sash, so if Talonflame does go for, say, a Brave Bird into that Smeargle slot, that should pick up the knockout.
If it hits.
If it hits, exactly. You can say that about both Smeargles now. It's going to come down to the Smeargles here, I think.
Sebastian will get more opportunities, though, because his Focus Sash has not been broken.
Exactly.
So you need to hit through those evasions twice.
Yep, it'll be even tougher to take out Sebastian's Smeargle.
Well, it looks like Andrew just wants to go for the free knockout on the field, take out the Talonflame, wants to protect his Smeargle there. Taking a little bit of damage from that Life Orb. Sebastian will connect with the Dark Void, though. So Sebastian moving first will be able to connect with both the Smeargle on Andrew's side. Will it also connect with the Rayquaza? Hits with the Rayquaza as well. Both Pokemon fast asleep now, and Sebastian, by taking out that Talonflame, a free switch in for whatever's in the back. Likely that Xerneas.
Yeah,
special defense increase.
If it's Xerneas, it's over because Rayquaza cannot wake up this turn.
Ooh, is it though?
Yeah, Smeargle will have a chance at waking up here. So
yeah.
And now because of that speed boost, now there are some ways for Andrew to come back here.
All right, well, the speed boost on Smeargle. Andrew really needs this Smeargle to come through. Needs to wake up.
And get a Dark Void off.
Ooh, it's going to be so close. I mean, Sebastian's in a very good position. Andrew just putting all of his hopes on the line. You can see it on his face right now. Knows that Smeargle needs to wake up, and if it does not wake up, he will be taking his first loss of the tournament.
Oh boy.
Here we go. The Follow Me from Sebastian Smeargle, just in case. Smeargle stays asleep. Andrew will not be able to get off a Dark Void. Rayquaza also asleep. And now Xerneas can just go to town on this team. Dazzling Gleam, Smeargle avoids the Dazzling Gleam, but it will connect with Rayquaza, and Smeargle just will not have the damage to deal with this Xerneas and Smeargle on his own. And Sebastian Escalante will be taking home the victory here, will advance to round 5 at 4-0.
Yeah, Sebastian really doing Argentina proud. You can hear
Yeah.
the crowd erupting, so there's a lot of fans for Argentina here today cheering on Sebastian, and he is going to be 4-0. He's only going to need one more win to advance.
One win for Top Cut.
Yeah, and yeah,
The first time Argentina will have made Top Cut.
that's true.
One more win.
Yeah, so Andrew, on his end, he's not out of it yet. He's only got one loss. He's 3-1. Still very good. Still on pace to
Yeah.
make Top Cut. He's just got to win 2 of his last 3 rounds.